Some of you may be confused about how to select exercises, how to select a set and rep range, choosing between static, dynamic, ballistic, PNF stretching, or selecting neuromotor exercises. So I'm going to create this video for you to show you how to, a very basic way to select exercises and parameters for warm-ups and cool-downs. I've pulled up a copy of the warm-up and cool-down lab, and I've selected case 1, which is where you summarize the information from your own client to create a scenario so then we can start to pick out the information that's important. I'm just going to stop and pause this for a minute so you can read over my client. Obviously, this is a version of me, and I'm going to go through how you would pick out information from your client or from one of the scenarios to help you decide what you're going to do. So the first thing I do is I notice that she spends some time sitting, but she's not super sedentary. If somebody was spending a lot of time sitting, that would be a red flag to me about hip flexors and glute weakness. So hip flexor tightness and glute weakness. I would probably highlight this and pull it out because I know I would need to address this. I see she's very physically active. People who are normally very physically active have tight hamstrings, tight calves, tight hip flexors, tight pecs. Just threw in a little thing here about how I dream of Shake Shack. Now I've got the findings of my tests. I've failed Kendall and Thomas tests, which tell me very specific things. So sitting, vigorous activity. I've got failed Thomas and Kendall tests. I scored poorly on both the straight leg raise and the V sit and reach. I scored below expected range of motion for dorsiflexion, knee flexion, and hip extension. Both upper and lower cross syndrome, starting to develop those. Gonna pull that out. Abdominal weakness from poor decisions of having too many children too close together. All right, so sitting, I know that tells me tight. I'll just use my hip flexors, and I know that comes with weak hip extensors, usually glute. Vigorous activity, so tight hamstrings, calves, hip flexors, hip pecs, probably lats too, usually. Failed Thomas test, tight hip flexors, scored poorly, so tight hamstrings. These I don't really need to go, so this would be tight. Dorsiflexion would be plantar flexors. Tight plantar flexors, tight knee flexion, tight knee extensors, and poor hip extension. Upper cross syndrome, I know that I've got shortened pecs, neck extensors, upper traps, and then lower would be shortened hip flexors, back extensors. right. I've just taken all of the findings that were listed in words here. I've pulled them out and I've translated them to what they mean. Now, you can, I talk about in one of my videos about how you can create a warm up or cool down based on the activity that a person is about to participate in. But in this case, maybe we want to make a warm up and a cool down that target the weaknesses that a person has. Here, I have shown you many weaknesses to choose from. So I wouldn't expect if you had findings like this that you would choose all of them. I would maybe expect you to choose out the ones that appear and reappear over and over again. So I see rectus femoris a couple times, right? Tight hip flexors, and knee flexors. No, I think there's one with knee extensors. Yeah, knee extensors, which I'm kind of lumping in with my hip flexors because some of them overlap. I see weak abs a couple times. I see glutes a couple times. So this is the process for taking findings and translating them to what's weak and what's shortened, what's inhibited and what's lengthened. Or wait, no, inhibited and lengthened are the same thing. So what is shortened and what is weakened? What is short and what is elongated? Okay, so then I'm going to go down. I think I mentioned in another one of my videos, I had to change this, but what I want to see here is line by line each activity that you're going to prescribe. So the first part is myofascial release. How do I know which muscles I'm going to release? Well, I'm probably going to choose the ones, like I said, that they appear frequently. So I've got, I'm just going to highlight the ones that appear frequently. Look, you can see here, tight hip flexors. Hip flexors. It's appearing over and over and over and over again. Okay, so probably you want to roll out muscles that are activated or shortened. The theory is, not sure that I believe it, but the theory is that rolling muscles inhibits them, prepares them to be stretched, prepares them to lengthen. So roll hip flexors. And then I'm going to go back up and see, I'm actually going to say foam roll, because I would use a foam roll here. And I see tight hamstrings a couple times. Tight hamstrings. Depending on what I'm preparing for, if I'm preparing for something that's upper body, I might want to do some work on my upper extremities. But let's say I'm preparing to do something that's lower extremity, like running or lifting, in which case I'll just leave these alone. Since hamstring appears a couple times, I'm actually going to use a lacrosse ball or something smaller, because I find that I can't get enough pressure with a foam roller on the hamstrings. I can't get my, it's too close to like my center of gravity, so I can't get the weight on it that I want to. I'll use a lacrosse ball on my hamstrings to get more of more intense feeling. So here, I'm always going to do mild discomfort with any sort of stretching. I lump in myofascial release with stretching. Here, I'm not going to be too picky here. You can say however much you want. According to NASM, the corrective exercise specialist, you should foam roll for no less than 90 seconds per muscle. I feel personally, if you're a personal trainer, that's probably too long to ask a client who's only got a specified period of time to work with you to roll out. So here, if you just want to say 60 seconds total, one set of 30 seconds per side, I think that would be fine. Same thing. Let's not go crazy if you're doing this for yourself and you have more time, or if you have a client who has long periods of time to work, it's okay to prescribe more. But um, I'm asking you to do this kind of condensed because usually people don't have that much time. All right, so we've got 2 to 3 minutes of foam rolling here. This is a total of 2 minutes. So now I'm going to move on to my general cardiovascular warm up. Let's say I'm preparing to do some lifting and some HIIT. I'll do some jogging. I'll do it 50%. Light. So I've selected to do this. So the point of the warm-up is to bring the body up. Actually, to bring the body temperature up, to bring the heart rate up, to bring everything up to prepare for exercise. So I think it's a good idea. I mean, you can do whatever you like. You can just say 50% and that's fine. You can just say 60% and that's fine. Here, I'm just going to prescribe it this way. I'm going to work up an intensity up to moderate, and I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. I don't need to put sets or reps because I've made it clear here that I'm only jogging for 5 minutes. All right, so now I've done my 5 minutes of general cardiovascular. Now I'm going to move on to my flexibility. My specific warm-up, which is comprised of flexibility and neuromotor. So I need to choose some stretches. Let's say I'm not preparing to do any Olympic lifting. Even if I was, I'm not somebody who would like to do ballistic stretching. Remember that ballistic stretching should be reserved for your power athletes, your sprinters, your gymnasts, you could even do your basketball players, people who need power, so jumping bursts of energy. Your regular client, your everyday average person is not going to be doing ballistic stretching. Actually, it's dangerous for a regular person to be doing ballistic stretching, so stay away from that. I expect most of you will prescribe static and dynamic stretching in the specific warm-up with regard to flexibility. Not sure which ones to choose? Well, we're going to go back up to our little thing that we have here. I would probably choose to do some hip flexor stretches. Actually, I'm always doing hip flexor and hamstring stretches. And so I'm just going to put that here because I know that I want to target those. Hip flexor, hamstring. Let's see, what else do I want to target? I have so many things to choose from. I have been working on my upper cross syndrome. I have been working on that. So let's say some, I'm just going to add some rows here because I think I need to. Let's say pec and lats. I'm throwing them up there. That doesn't mean I'm going to keep them. Now, if I'm trying to select which muscles to do neural activation for, again, I have two choices. I can do neural activation for muscles that are lengthened, that I know are lengthened from my assessment, or I could do neural activation to help me prepare for the activity for the day. So if I'm preparing to do some squatting, for example, I might want to do some air squats. I might want to do some lunges because lunges help to activate the glute, and they also prepare me for lower body exercise. I mentioned weak abs a couple times, so maybe I want to do some abdominal activation. And this looks like quite a bit, so I think now that I've planned out what I want to attack, I can start filling in my parameters. I like to do some lunges, so some walking, hip flexor, stretch lunges. So these are going to be dynamic hip flexor stretches. Dynamic exercises are nice because oftentimes they double as neuromotor exercises. I wouldn't say that dynamic exercises are always neuromotor exercises, and for sure, neuromotor exercises are not always dynamic stretches. And I'll go over that in a second. So here, what parameters do I want to use? I'm going to do mild discomfort. Duration, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, so I'm probably just going to leave this one blank. And I'm going to go to sets and reps. I know that the ACSM wants me to do 5 to 12 repetitions of increasing range of motion. So I might do two sets of 10. All right, so I'll get 5 and 5 on each leg. Hamstring, maybe I'll do some, maybe I want a twofer. So I'll do some front and back leg swings. This one will get my hip flexors and it will get my hamstrings. I like twofers. Other good twofers are like a toe touch because you get both legs at one time. Again, I don't need to put a duration. Maybe I'll just put 2 sets of 10. I might want to do some arm swings. Actually, I really have a problem with tight pecs because of, my medical history, which I didn't put there because you don't need to know that stuff. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. Okay, so let's say static. We'll call it a doorway stretch. Actually, I can hit the lats and the pecs with a PVC pipe pass-through. And this would also be dynamic because it's with movement. And again, I like to do more. Oh my God. My upper body is pretty tight. So here maybe I'll do 2 sets of 20. Right? And now I can get rid of this. Well, maybe I'll do a static lat stretch. And here I want to accumulate 60 seconds per side. And I would achieve that in 2 to 4 repetitions of 10 to 30 seconds. So let's say 2 sets of 30 seconds each side. Boom. Now I want to start to get ready for my exercises. Well, lunges are kind of a bit more intense. So maybe what I will do is I'm going to move my air squats down because they'll lead me right into my activity. And I'll put my abdominal. Here, I like to do some dead bug exercises. Put this at light intensity because, I'm not using any weight or anything. I'm going to prescribe sets and reps here. Dead bug, let's see. I need to use my endurance training parameters, which would be 1 to 4 sets of 10 reps and above. So maybe I will start with 2 sets of, I need an even number. Well, I guess I don't need a 15 reps per side. Well, since I'm already down, instead of doing lunges, maybe I'll do some bridges, glute bridges. That'll get the job done. Again, light intensity, I'm not using any weight. And then here I can do 2 sets of 15, doing both at the same time. And then maybe I move into my my air squats, moderate intensity. Maybe I'm starting to bring it up because I'm going to move into my exercise now. And maybe I do 2 sets of 20 fast pace. You'll notice here that I don't have anything written in my duration, which is fine because if I were to hand this to somebody, they would know how many they were doing. I don't always need to fill in every box. You only need to fill in the boxes that add value. So we're just going to leave some of these boxes blank. Then I would go to my cool down. My cool down is going to look a lot like my general cardiovascular warm-up, except it'll be the opposite. Instead of starting at 50% and working up to 60, depending on the intensity of my exercise, I'm going to go down 60 to 50. I actually like to do a warm-up, a cool down at a light intensity. General cardiovascular. So here I'll do brisk walk. Well, I won't even put brisk walk. I like to do do that for 5 minutes. Okay. A minimum of 5 minutes. I can do more if I like, but a minimum of 5. Now I'm going to do my flexibility. Probably going to have to add some column rows here. And I go in. I'm going to go back up. Again, hip flexors, hamstrings. Maybe I want to bring in some other things, some calves, maybe some more upper body. Here I might do a downward dog. This one's good. It's a twofer, so I don't have to spend as much time as if I were to do one leg at a time. So I would do 60 seconds accumulated, and I might do that in 4 sets of 15 seconds. Okay. Hamstring, I could do again, a twofer. I can do both at the same time. Saves me time. And I'm choosing all static stretches here. Because I'm bringing it down. I'm not preparing for exercise. If I had a partner, or if I was writing this for my client, I might put some PNF stretching in here. PNF stretching is the most effective type of stretching, but it does for the most part require a partner and an experienced partner at that. You don't want to be doing it all willy-nilly. You should probably know what you're doing if you're gonna do it. So 4 sets of 15 seconds. I could also do, I'm putting 4 sets of 15 seconds here just to show you that there's a variety of ways to achieve 60 seconds. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do both hip flexors at the same time. So I'm selecting these exercises based on the things that I have wrong, but I could also select these exercises based on what I did that day. So, for example, if I did a lot of upper body, I might want to focus on stretching my shoulders, my back, my pecs, my lats. But because this was a lower body day, maybe I just focus on the lower body and then maybe just throw in the things because I am trying to improve maybe it's my goal to improve my posture. So here I might do another doorway stretch. And again, these exercises will help to bring the body back down to the resting state. Okay, so then I would try this, right? I've created the prescription. I could hand this prescription to somebody. I could hand it to myself and I could complete it. And then I would report back. Maybe I went over time. Maybe I took too long. I mean, I think it's okay to prescribe longer than what I'm asking you to do here. The only reason I'm asking you to condense it is so that you practice choosing the most efficient exercises, since most people don't have like infinite amounts of time. I personally like to warm up for 20-30 minutes before I even pick up a weight. So that's something to consider too. Especially specialized athletes need to spend more time warming up. So by no means does every person need to take 12 to 15 minutes to warm up. Some people will take much longer. I'm just trying to help you build your skill. So I hope that you can watch this back and it makes sense for you to be able to pick exercises, show you this would be a work. Oh my God, I did so amazing on this, right? Because I can rationalize all of my choices here. And that's what I want for you is for you to rationalize your choices and to follow the ACSM guidelines. If anything, just contact me if you need help.